Raider Nation, to another episode of The Punk Rock Raider. My name is Dirty D from the Dirty T. I am the Punk Rock Raider. We're going to get started right into this show. This is part 2 of my winners or prospects to watch from the Shrine Bowl. That was last week. I already did offense, now I'm doing defense. The defense, I thought, especially the defensive line, there were so many good players. It was really a much better roster on defense. There's a lot more draftable players. There's a couple guys that I'm not going to talk about today. I'll shout them at the end. Most notably, Cole Wisniewski, who I really like, is a really good player. But we already have 2 players on the roster that I think are the same mold of player as Wisniewski. He's like a big box safety, maybe like a nickel linebacker, big nickel type of guy. So I just took him. I didn't talk about him because of that. I didn't put anything in there about him. But I got a lot of guys to shout out. We're gonna get right into it. This defensive line was fucking nasty, dude. It was a problem. It was so hard for the offensive line to keep up with him. And granted, especially in the 1-on-1s, it's so much harder for the offensive lineman being put on an island there. But even in the combo block drills and all that stuff, there was a lot of defense linemen that stood out. And the first guy I'm going to talk about, Darrell Jackson Jr., I was lower on going into the draft process. I was really intrigued by what he did last year, even though the analytics weren't necessarily great. But this guy is he's a fucking alien. Trevor Sycamore said he looked like one of the Monstars, even against everyone else at the event. 6'5", 328 pounds, 11-inch hands. That's a lot of power and weight distribution across having larger hands. 35-inch arms. This guy is just a freak in nature. Super powerful, super long arms, and he's just a nightmare against the run. And he gave everybody he went up against, including the darling of the whole event, Brian Parker. I saw Darrell Jackson really push him back and push the pocket. What would have been pushing him into the quarterback. He dominated, and he dominated so well. He, I believe, is now at the Senior Bowl. So Darrell Jackson went from a guy I would have told you was like maybe a late 3rd round pick, probably like that late 3rd, early 4th, because he's primarily only a run defender. He doesn't have great numbers as a pass rusher. Dude is firmly a 3rd round pick, maybe even a 2nd round pick at this point. Like, he's skyrocketing because there's just not a lot of people built like that, and he's very good against the run. 81.3 grade against the run, and an elite 8.9 run stop rate in the percentiles. That's way high up there. I don't have the exact number, but it's really high. In 2024, he actually was pretty productive as a pass rusher, but I think there's other reasons. I don't know if it was analytically he was productive or just got more free runs or whatever. Moving on, we have safety Jalen Husky out of Maryland. He made the all-practice team. He was 6'1", 199 pounds. Really, really good PFF grades this year, especially in coverage. 4-to-1 interception to touchdown ratio. He only gave up 1 touchdown. He had 4 interceptions. And he was really well balanced. He was good at everything. He played primarily deep, but he also put 211 snaps in the box and 111 in the slot. Jalen Husky is a guy that is going to fly up boards. I would imagine at this point he is considered late day 2, early day 3. He could be firmly day 2 by the end of the process. He's just a fantastic player. In all situations as a safety. He is a starting safety day 1. This safety class, I think, is the best position group of this whole class. It is a fantastic. I would call this an elite safety class. We have a cornerback in Devon Marshall from NC State coming up next. Measuring in at 5'10", 197 pounds, 30 and a half inch arms. So I wouldn't call him small. I'd say he's adequately sized. Um, but had an elite coverage grade, elite grade in 2025 as a cornerback. He showed he's really tough. He stays after it. He didn't give up on reps. If he got beat, he stuck to it. He's really good recovery speed. Like this guy looks like a starting NFL cornerback, and I think he showcased that. And I think he also moved himself into that day two range, maybe the end of day two, maybe like third round, maybe early fourth round. But he really moved up boards. I think a lot of people are going to like his mentality and how he just stays after it. And again, the recovery speed, the ability to, even if he lost the rep initially, make up for it. And there was a couple plays where he lost the rep and then he gets back in and he breaks up the pass. And that is what you want out of a cornerback. Cornerback is such a high variance position. It's also really encouraging because he graded so much better against zone than he did in man when he was playing in the season. And these one-on-one drills are more replicating man than they are zone. Like you're taking a guy one-on-one. So the fact that he did really well is really encouraging. He had 2 interceptions this year as well. Really like him. He's flying up boards. He's a guy I would love on the team. Like everyone on this list, obviously, is people I would love on the team. Really encouraged by what I saw by him. So this is one of my guys. I'm a Cincinnati Bearcats fan. I can't lie about that. And Dante Corleone, the Godfather, A, elite nickname. B, Dante Corleone, when he burst on the scene his freshman year, he was, I think, the highest graded player. He was the highest graded freshman, one of the highest graded players. I think he was a freshman All-American. This man is built like a fucking fire hydrant. This dude is built like a fucking bowling ball. Like 6'1.5". Didn't even get his weight. I guess 330. Almost 10-inch hands. 31.5-inch arms. He doesn't give you a lot of length. This is a nose tackle. He reminds me so much of Poona Ford. He is a nightmare against the run. He's not going to make a lot of individual plays. His stat sheet's not going to look good. He's not going to make a lot of tackles. His kind of pass rushing efficiency has gone down every year. This was his worst year as a pass rusher, but he only practiced for one day. And I would say this is like you could call this both a stock up and a stock down because he looks like an NFL player. He is day one, has capability to be a monster against the run and really free up your other defenders to go make plays. But he got hurt after day one and he didn't play, and medicals are going to be a big thing for him. He had blood clots at one point that held him out. Now, he's played majority of the games every season he's played, but that will be a concern. However, another guy that I heard nonstop about how Brian Parker didn't lose any reps. I don't know what they consider a loss, but getting pushed into the guy that would be the quarterback, it's a loss to me. And he did that to him and the Kentucky center and the Georgia center. He absolutely maybe it was Oklahoma, sorry, not Georgia. But he bullied guys straight into the guy holding the ball. I don't think his guy, because of the short arms, he's not going to make a lot of individual run stops and tackles. He's not going to make a lot of sacks, even like actual hurries. But his power, explosiveness, and ability to push the guy up into the quarterback so the quarterback can't step up into the pocket translates. And I have him as a third-round player. I love Dante Corleone. Medicals are going to be the biggest thing for him. Like, it's going to come down to medicals. We have another cornerback, Jaden Kennedy out of Oregon. He's like a slot corner. Almost exclusively, he primarily played in the slot more than anything else this year at Oregon. He had previously been at Ole Miss too. 5'10", came in at 175 pounds. He's a smaller guy, 30-inch arms. Graded really well. And what I love most about his game is that when you look at his grades, when you're just taking a look at the profile, graded excellent in man and zone. Uh, 82 grade in zone, 80.4 grade in man, and he was the smoothest corner. I think he probably was the best looking overall cornerback. Devon Marshall also was in that conversation. It's just going to come down to the fact that he is a slot corner because of his size. Maybe in certain schemes in off coverage, you feel like you can put him on the outside, but he's thin, he's small. He's 5'10" isn't incredibly short. I think maybe that cutoff, like anything shorter than 5'10" is too short. But 175 pounds is pretty light. He has graded extremely well, though. He looks like an NFL player. He looked great in practice. Again, he showed that fluidity, that explosiveness. Um, I would imagine this is a fourth, fifth round guy, maybe fifth round because of the size, but this is a good football player that I could absolutely see being one of those, like a Jacob Parrish type of player, last year rookie, who was like a day one starter as a nickel corner, slot corner. All right, so Torian York, linebacker out of Texas A&M, is like historically undersized. Like from a size standpoint, this would be like Sam Mills. 5'10" and about 5'10" and a half, 232 pounds, so he's pretty thick. He's got short arms. He graded really well. He graded really well as a cover guy, but that's like it's like he had a lot of coverage stops, but he gave up a really high completion percentage. He didn't. Yeah, I think he batted a couple passes, had like one interception. He's a physical linebacker, and he just plays with his hair on fire. And he showed that in practices. He is a good leader. He is a film junkie. He's a guy you want in your locker room. Now, like him being a successful NFL linebacker, that would be in rare air with his size. Um, so I would say he's a fifth round prospect because of that. I know people. I've seen places rank him in the third round. I just don't think it's going to be hard to sell under a sub 5'11" linebacker. That's going to be hard to sell, but dude is so much fun to watch and brings so much energy. You want a guy like that in your locker room. And the blitz pickup drills are really bad for running backs, but he made every single running back in that drill a highlight tape. He blew people up. Again, you love the physicality. I'd love to have him. He just is still a later round guy for me. All right, so we're going to talk about an edge player. This is the only edge player I have here. This is going to be a little controversial because Mason Reiner, I can't remember. The Wisconsin edge really flashed for a lot of people. A lot of people had him as like the biggest winner. In most of the reps that I watched, like he had a few wins, but like I wouldn't call him dominant. I saw him get ran around the arc a few times, and then in the run drills, I saw him get pushed around a little bit. He's a little more, at least leaner. He's like 245 pounds. The guy that jumped out to me was Wesley Williams from Duke. Now he is. I didn't know about him, and the other Duke guy, Vincent Anthony, is more well known. Um, but Williams, he's got good size, 6'3", 6'3" and 0.3 inches, 251 pounds, 32-inch arms. He showed some power in the drills. He only had 2 sacks in 2025. So he's a guy that wasn't on PFF's radar. He was not in their database. He had 8 sacks in 2024. And when I was watching him, he consistently jumped out both for power and he had some finesse moves as well. He had some bend. he also stood up really well in like setting the edge in the drills there. And then he was a demon in the team drills, and there was one team drill where I think he got a strip sack, and he was just all over the place. He was dominant as a pass rusher. He was very good as a run defender. He was really balanced. He's a guy that I think was clearly an undrafted free agent going into this event. I don't know how high he flies up. We want to see, like, hey, how well does he test? The arms still aren't like super long, more compact, but he's a guy that could be a sixth, seventh round pick. And I mean, if he tests really well, start to look at the sack production from 2024, you start to look at the size, the athleticism. Like, it'd be really interesting to see what he tests at and how high he can go up. I would still put him as like a sixth, seventh round guy, but he's a draftable guy. And then that brings me to our last player we're going to talk about, officially at least, the linebacker Jaden Duggar out of Louisiana. So Jaden Duggar, he stood out more than any other linebacker other than York at the event. And like on the opposite side of the spectrum, dude is a big linebacker, 6'4" and a half, 240 pounds. Didn't grade well this year. And I think this is going to be intriguing because people are going to look at what he did in the Shrine Bowl versus what he did on tape. Because in the Shrine Bowl, like, he looked really good against the run, really physical. But he had 2 interceptions, and I think he graded better as a cover guy. His 10.7 missed tackle rate was it was not bad for, like, when you look at percentiles. It was above 50%. I want to say it was in the 60% range. Um, he graded pretty well though as a cover guy. Like, he had an interception. He did pretty well as far as um, pass stops, coverage stops. But like, he gave up plenty of yards. He gave up really bad completion percentage. All the metrics don't look good for him. But big linebacker, can move, can cover, can play downhill on the run. He's a guy that you probably want to get in your room and develop further, but there's something to develop there. Still probably an end of the draft guy, but he really had himself a day. Some other guys I'll talk about before I get out of here. The defensive tackles, man. I think it was Greg Smith, the third, really flashed for me at UCLA. Another like fire hydrant body, short, super stocky. Dude was hard, like a great anchor, and hard to move. And he made some push in the pass game. Albert Regis looked really good, especially against the run. Really good anchor. Really liked Albert Regis's game. Already talked about the Wisconsin edge as well. Um, I heard a lot of hate about Demonte Capehart. People talking about how he didn't look good and this and that. I counted a lot of wins in the one-on-ones, and I saw some good stuff in the run game stuff as well. And he's got good size. I mean, we're still, to me, talking about a fifth, sixth round player, probably a fifth round player. But I liked what I saw at Cape Hart. I saw an NFL player, so I wasn't really sure why he got so much hate. If you have any clips, send me them to me. Maybe there's stuff I missed with all the footage I watched. That's going to do it for my episode today. If there's anyone else that I didn't talk about you'd like to hear more about, we can please mention them in the comments. I'm always here for discourse. I'm always here to discuss stuff in the comments with you guys. I'm going to be releasing a bunch of videos. I'll probably go base practice off practice for all the Senior Bowl practices. I got to catch up on the Senior Bowl practices and talk about the guys that are winning there. I've already a few guys that I'm excited to talk about for that. There's some really out of nowhere dudes and some buzz. There's some buzz. There's some dudes. So I'm getting out of here. My name is Dirty T from the Dirty T. I am the Punk Rock Raider. If you would like to also be a Punk Rock Raider again, hit like and subscribe. I'll be coming up with that Patreon stuff pretty soon because we're in that season. I'm starting to put together my boards. I'm starting to watch a lot of tape. I'm starting to write full scouting reports, do film analysis, and I would love to share that with you guys. So please stay up to date. When I have that ready, it's going to be awesome to be able to share that with you guys. I hope y'all have a great rest of your night. Should be more videos tomorrow coming up. Until then, sayonara, motherfuckers.